Beloved child, there are seasons when I do not hasten to lift you out of pressure, not because I am indifferent to your tears, but because I am building within you a foundation that the winds of life cannot shake. You often long for a smooth path so your heart may feel lighter. But I look deeper than temporary comfort. I look toward the sacred form you will become after grace has touched you, after trials have shaped you, after love has softened you, and after truth has made you steadfast. You were not born merely to pass through life by way of small, safe days, nor were you called simply to avoid everything that makes you tremble. I call you into the depths, where faith is no longer only a word upon your lips, but becomes the breath of your soul. Therefore, when you pass through deep waters, do not think you have been abandoned. The word in Isaiah 43:2 reminds you that when you pass through the waters, I will be with you. And when you walk through the fire cannot consume what I have preserved. What you call hardship, in my hands, can become an altar. What you call delay, in my will, can become a school of maturity. What you call loss, under my light, can become the empty space into which new grace is poured. Let me speak this to you with the gentleness of a father. I do not make you strong by always allowing you to live in comfort, but by teaching you to stand firm when every familiar support is no longer enough. There are things you only understand after you have walked through the night. There are promises that only become precious after you have waited in tears. There are deeper layers of peace that only open when your mind can no longer control everything. Yet your heart still whispers, Father, I trust you. Romans 5:3-5 says that suffering produces perseverance. Perseverance produces character, and character produces hope. This is not a word meant to minimize your pain, but a word given so you may know that pain is not the final master of the story. In the days when you think you are being worn down, I am actually separating from you the layers of fear, self-protection, pride, and false dependence. I am not taking away your true nature. I am only removing what has hidden the beauty I placed within you from the beginning. Do you remember the story of Hannah? She came to the temple with a heart weighed down, her lips moving in prayer so quietly that Eli even thought she was drunk. But before me, those unspoken words still rang like bells in the holy place. Hannah did not receive an answer immediately, nor did she see change in the first moment, but she poured out her soul before me. And when my appointed time came, Samuel was given not only as a son to comfort a mother's heart, but as a prophet to guide an entire people. Do you see? Sometimes what I am preparing through your waiting is far greater than what you are asking for. You ask for deliverance, I may be preparing a calling. You ask for a door, I may be building a path within you. You ask for a sign, I may be making you yourself a sign of my faithfulness in the world. Therefore, do not regard the silent years as meaningless. Some seeds must lie deep in the soil before they rise above the ground. No one sees the roots growing, but I see. In the silence you thought was distance, I have still been nearer than your breath. You pray, then you wait, then you doubt, then you try to believe once more. I have seen it all. I do not despise your trembling faith. I do not turn my face away when your heart grows weak. James 1:3-4 reminds you that the testing of faith produces perseverance. And when perseverance finishes its work, you will become more complete. This means I care not only about what you receive, but also about who you become while you are waiting to receive it. If the blessing comes when your heart is not yet ready, even a good thing can become a burden. If the door opens while your identity still depends on the approval of others, you may walk through it and forget that I am the one who led you. Therefore, I prepare you before I entrust you with something new. I deepen the roots before I allow the tree to rise high. I strengthen the soul before placing weighty things upon your shoulders. And this is where surrender becomes holy. Beloved child, surrender is not giving up in despair, but placing what is most precious to you into the hands of the one who loves you most. When you stop trying to hold every possibility with weary hands, you will realize that my hand has been there all along. Proverbs 3:5-6 teaches you to trust in me with all your heart, not to lean on your own understanding, to acknowledge me in all your ways, and then I will direct your path. But you cannot ask me to lead you while insisting on walking only the road you have drawn for yourself. You cannot hand me the key while still gripping the door tightly because you fear I will do something different from what you desire. True surrender does not make you smaller. It brings you back to your rightful place, a beloved child, protected, guided, and free from the need to prove your worth through control. So when the fire is still hot, remember that I am the one sitting near the refining furnace, never taking my eyes off you. When the night is still long, remember that the dawn does not need you to pull it up. It comes at my command. When the promise has not yet taken shape, remember that Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, I make everything beautiful in its time. Not one of your tears has been forgotten. Not one prayer has fallen into emptiness. And not one quiet step of obedience is considered small in my sight. I am healing the places you once kept hidden, renewing your mind, and restoring within you the identity that pain once blurred. You are not only someone who survived the storm, you are someone I have taught to sing in the storm. You are not only someone waiting for a blessing, you are someone being transformed to carry blessing. Rest your heart. My child, what I am doing within you is deeper than what you can see, holier than what you can understand, and more beautiful than what you ever dared to ask for. Beloved child, quiet your heart and hear me speak to you in this hour. Not one of your steps falls outside my care. There are times when you think you are passing through a dry land, where there is no longer the sound of a stream, no shade, and no sign that life is still continuing. Yet even there, I am quietly placing the portion of bread sufficient for today, the portion of strength sufficient for the next breath, and the portion of light sufficient to keep you from wandering away from the path I have appointed. I do not feed you with everything your heart demands, because there are things you desire that would only weaken you, only make you depend on emotions, convenience, and fleeting things. I give you what you need, so your soul may grow in wisdom, so your heart may become tender again in love, and so your faith may no longer be a small flame trembling before the wind, but a lamp preserved by me through the long night. As Psalm 23:1 reminds you that the Lord is the shepherd, and those who belong to him shall lack nothing. Understand this. True sufficiency is not having everything according to your will, but having me in everything you are walking through. There are days when I do not immediately lift the weariness from your body, but I place within you a new endurance. So you may recognize that grace does not come only as a gentle breeze that soothes, but also as wings that carry you across the stretch of road you thought you could not continue walking. When you are dry within, I do not merely give you a temporary sip of water, I lead you back to a deeper spring, where the soul is bathed in life that never runs dry. When you are confused among many turns, I do not always lay the whole map before your eyes, but I light my word like a lamp near your feet. Just as Psalm 119:105 says that God's word is a lamp to the feet and a light to the path. You do not need to see the entire journey in order to trust. You only need enough light for the next step, and enough faith to place your foot upon what I have spoken. Do not be afraid when you only see in part, because I see the whole. Do not panic when you do not yet understand the meaning of the turn, because I already know where you will stand after these tears have been transformed into testimony. Remember Elijah by the brook Cherith. Beloved child, I sent him to a lonely place, not to a palace, not to a banquet table, not to a place the world would call safe. There, a small stream flowed through the rocks, and ravens brought him bread and meat according to my command. As written in Ein's King Zeepzin, do you see the wonder of it? I can use a wilderness place to feed the one I love, use the unexpected to provide for the one I have sent, and turn isolation into a place where holy dependence is deepened. But then that very brook dried up. If you looked with natural eyes, you would think the provision had ended. But in my plan, the dry brook was not the end. It was the sign for Elijah to step into another kind of guidance, to the house of the widow at Zarephath, where a handful of flour and a little oil became a miracle that lasted through the famine. Therefore, when the familiar source in your life seems to dry up, do not quickly assume that I have left. Perhaps I am only moving you from one form of grace into another form of grace, so you may know that the true source is not in the brook, not in people, not in circumstances, but in me. Beloved child, you often hope that faith will bloom in peaceful days, but the most mature faith often takes root in the place where your eyes have nothing left to hold on to except my promise. When everything is clear, it is easy for you to say that you believe, but when the heavens are silent, when prayer seems to have received no answer, when the door remains closed, when even those who support you cannot fully understand what you are enduring, that is when faith begins to be refined. Hebrews 11:1 says that faith is the assurance of what is hoped for, the evidence of what is not seen. This means faith does not demand that the darkness disappear completely before it takes a step, but places its foot upon my faithfulness, even when there is still mist ahead. You are not stepping into a meaningless emptiness. You are walking upon the foundation of my spoken word. And that foundation does not tremble, though the world changes, though your emotions rise and fall, and though your circumstances have not yet shifted according to what you have prayed for. I know there are times when you grow weary from waiting, times when you wonder whether your prayers have dissolved into silence. But no, my child, not one of your sighs has been forgotten. There are answers I hide within the process, not placing them immediately into your hands, because I am preparing your hands to hold them without losing humility. There are blessings I delay not to hurt you, but to deepen you. Philippians 1:6 reminds you that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day it is finished. Therefore, do not measure my love by the speed of change. I do not hurry according to human impatience. I work like the holy craftsman, patient, precise, gentle yet powerful, touching every hidden corner of your mind, healing every fracture in your heart, and calling back every part of your identity that fear once caused you to lose. And remember this, I never promised that this road would always be smooth, but I did promise that I would be with you. My presence is more precious than a road without stones. My grace is stronger than a life without trials. When Paul pleaded for the thing that caused him pain to be taken away, I said that my grace was sufficient for him. For my power is made perfect in weakness, as revealed in 2 Corinthians 12:9. Do you see? I do not always remove weakness from you, but I enter that very place of weakness so that my power may be revealed through your humility. What you thought was a limitation can become a window through which others see my light. What you once felt ashamed of can become the place where my mercy touches many other souls. So keep walking, beloved child, but do not walk as one who has been abandoned. Walk as one who is being led. Do not seek shortcuts that keep your soul from growing into maturity. Do not hate the difficult seasons. because within them I am writing the lines of grace upon you. One day, when you look back, you will not only see storms, valleys, tears, or confusing turns. You will see how my hand joined all things into a holy picture. You will understand that I used even what you did not choose to draw you closer to my image. And when this journey reaches its fullness, you will not only say that you overcame, you will say that you were renewed, preserved, loved to the very end, and transformed by the very one you call Father. Beloved child, stop allowing your soul to be pulled away by noises that do not nourish your spirit. There are sounds outside that seem very loud, but they only make you confused. My voice often comes gently, like a breeze passing through the deepest hidden place of your heart. Therefore, before you seek a new answer, before you demand a greater sign, return to the place of stillness in me. It is there that you will remember what your heart once knew so clearly. My word is not merely lines of text to read through, but living light to guide you forward. Psalm 119:105 says that my word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path. That lamp does not always illuminate the whole road ahead so that you no longer need to trust, but it is always bright enough for the next step, warm enough for a soul that has grown cold, and steady enough for a trembling heart. When you see every path seemingly closed, do not quickly conclude that I have fallen silent. Sometimes, it is precisely in the moment when every other voice fades that you finally begin to hear what I have been whispering for a long time. I know the days when you are weary from holding yourself together. I know there are questions you have hidden behind a smile, prayers you could not even form into words before your tears had already spoken them for you. But, my child, do not mistake heaviness as a sign that you have been forsaken. Many times, the burden is only a gentle bell calling you back closer to me, reminding you that you were not created to carry the whole world upon your small shoulders. When my only begotten Son said in Matthew 11:28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." It was not a distant invitation meant for someone else, but a word meant for you in this very hour. Come, without needing to prepare an appearance of strength, without needing to dry all your tears, without needing to prove that you are worthy. Come as you are, tired, honest, weak, yet still loved. For in my arms, your weakness is not despised. It becomes the place where my grace lays down new strength. Perhaps you have asked many times why you must walk through this stretch of road, why a pain has lasted longer than you expected, why the answer has not yet come, even though you have prayed with all your heart. I do not condemn you for those questions. A child who is hurting often asks not because of rebellion, but because they are searching for the Father's hand in the darkness. But I want you to understand that not everything I do appears immediately before your eyes. Some of my works take place in the depths, like a seed buried beneath the soil, quiet and unhurried, yet silently breaking open so new life can begin. James 1:2-4 reminds you to consider trials an opportunity for faith to produce perseverance, and for perseverance to make you mature. That word does not deny your tears. It places your tears within a greater meaning. I do not use pain to destroy you, but I use that very place of pain to remove from you what does not belong to the light, to refine your heart into pure gold, and to teach you a kind of faith that does not depend on the weather of circumstances. Remember the two disciples on the road to Emmaus after Jesus had been crucified. They walked with heavy hearts and sorrowful eyes, thinking that hope had been buried in the stone tomb. They spoke about everything that had happened, yet they did not recognize that the risen one was walking right beside them. Then he opened the scriptures to them, explained what had been written, And when the bread was broken, their eyes were opened. Luke 24 tells that their hearts burned within them while he taught them along the road. Do you see? Sometimes I am closer to you than you realize. But disappointment clouds your eyes. Sometimes you think you are walking on a road of loss, but in truth I am walking with you, reinterpreting your story through the light of my word. When you return to the word, you do not merely receive information, you encounter the one who is living. You do not merely understand a few more lines of text. Your heart is warmed again. Your hope is awakened again. And your spiritual eyes are open to recognize that I have never left you. Therefore, when you read my word, do not read it as someone looking for a beautiful saying to soothe your emotions for a moment. Read it as someone placing your hand into mine in the midst of a great wind. Let every promise enter the places of your fear. Every holy command realign the crooked patterns of your thinking. And every story in Scripture shine upon the story of your life. Hebrews 4:12 says that my word is living and powerful, sharper than any two-edged sword. This means the word does not lie still upon the page, but enters the deepest hidden places, separating what is true from what is false, healing what has been wounded, and awakening what has fallen asleep. When you feel your strength is exhausted, my word will remind you that those who wait upon me will renew their strength, as Isaiah 40:31 has promised. When you feel lonely, my word will remind you that I will never leave you nor forsake you. When the future feels dim, my word will remind you that I know the thoughts I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Do not let the changefulness of people make you doubt my steadfastness. Do not let days without answers cause you to forget that my promise still stands firm like a holy mountain. Heaven and earth may pass away, but my words will not pass away. As Matthew 24:35 has declared, what you see today may change color according to circumstance, but what I have spoken over your life cannot be erased by the winds of this world. If you are in the wilderness, my word will be the underground stream. If you are in the night, my word will be the star that does not go out. If you are in a season of letting go, my word will teach you that losing what no longer belongs to you can also be the way I open your hands to receive something better. You do not need to understand everything in order to trust. You only need to know that the one who is leading you is faithful. Therefore, my beloved child, lay your burdens down before me, little by little. Lay down the fear that you will not be strong enough. Lay down the need to control every outcome. Lay down the voices that make you think you have been forgotten. I am here, not far away at the end of the road, but right within your present breath. I am touching the deepest part of you where you thought no one could see. I am mending what has been cracked, softening what has become hardened, and rekindling the light where you thought it had gone out. Return to my word each day as you would return to the source of life. Let that word wash your mind, uphold your soul, and guide you through the fog with a peace that does not come from the world. Then you will see that darkness has not won. Tears are not the final chapter, and silence is not evidence of absence. It is in the silence that I am teaching you to hear more deeply. It is in the trial that I am making you stronger. It is in my word that you will find the way back home, where my love still burns bright, gentle, hoy, and never fading. Beloved child, bring your weary heart close to me, not as one who must hide the cracks, but as a child who knows there is still a home to return to. I do not require you to be joyful before entering my presence, nor do I demand that you be strong before you may lean against my heart. Come with the sorrow still in your eyes, with the questions still trembling in your chest, with the things you do not know how to name except through a sigh. I understand even what you cannot yet speak. For Psalm 56, 8 reminds you that I keep record of your wanderings and store your tears in my bottle. Not one of your tears falls and is treated as insignificant. Not one long night you pass through is unknown to me. There are tears that, in your hands, are only pain, but in my hands, they can become streams that water the dry ground of your soul again, causing what you thought had long been dead to begin sprouting once more. Do not think that I only come to you when you are composed, clean, peaceful, and worthy. My love is not a reward for your perfection. It is the holy strength that lifts you out of the places you cannot escape on your own. You once thought you had to do well enough before I would embrace you, that you had to overcome every weakness before I would be pleased with you, that you had to fix your life before I would step in. But my child, I do not stand outside the door waiting for your house to be clean. I enter so that I may help you clear the dark corners, wipe away the dust covering your hope, and touch the wounds you have tried to hide beneath the ordinary surface of each day. Romans 5:8 says that while humanity was still sinful, the love of Christ was revealed. This means grace does not begin after you have become beautiful enough, but begins right in the place of your brokenness, so that from there I may create a new beauty. There are broken pieces in your hands that frighten you, because they were once dreams, once promise, once things you believed would remain forever. You look at them and think the story is over, but I look at them and see the material for building another testimony. I am the one who does not waste sorrow. I do not let ashes remain, only ashes. If you place them in my hands. Isaiah 61:3 speaks of giving a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of heaviness. This is not a beautiful decoration for easy days, but a promise for souls that have walked through loss. I can take what once made you bow your head and turn it into the place where you learn to look up. I can take the past that once wounded you and use it as the foundation for mercy to grow more mature, deeper, and gentler within you. Remember Paul and Silas in the prison at Philippi, when their bodies were aching from the lashes. Their feet were fastened in stocks, and the night fell heavily like a wall with no way out. If seen through fleshly eyes, it was a place where there was no reason left to sing. But Acts 16 tells that around midnight, they prayed and sang praises to me. And then the foundations of the prison were shaken. The doors opened, and the chains fell off. Do you see? Praise in the darkness is not a denial of pain. It is a declaration that pain has no right to reign over your soul. When you know how to give thanks even before the door opens, you are telling the darkness that I am still Lord, that my goodness cannot be bent by circumstances, and that my faithfulness does not need to be proven by an immediate result. Sometimes your song may not change the situation at once, but it first breaks the invisible chains within your own heart. Therefore, let gratitude become the quiet breath of your soul, not a false gratitude that tries to smile in order to hide tears, but a holy gratitude that can look through tears and still recognize that I am there. When you give thanks for another day with breath, for a hand that has lifted you, for a promise that still shines, for the fact that once again you have not given up, you are opening the door for peace to enter. Philippians 4:6-7 teaches you not to be anxious, but to present everything through prayer, supplication, and thanksgiving. And then my peace will guard your heart and mind. That peace does not come because every problem has disappeared, but because you know you are no longer alone in the midst of the problem. It is like a small yet steady lamp in a dark room, enough to remind you that the night cannot swallow my presence. I have been with you on the mountaintop, but I have also been with you in the valley. I hear you when you sing, but I also hear you when you have nothing left but silence. I do not leave because you stumble. Do not turn my face away because you are weak. and do not stop loving you because there are days when your heart is in turmoil. Psalm 139 reminds you that whether you are in the heights or in the depths, my hand still leads and holds you. This means there is no place in your life too dark for my light, no memory too far for my grace to touch, and no circumstance beyond the reach of my care. People may not fully understand the depth of what you have endured, but I understand. People may walk away when you are no longer what they expected you to be, but I remain patient, steadfast, and gentle, like a father sitting beside you through the long night. Now, stop straining as though your whole future must be held together by your weary hands. Release each fear, each need for control, each thing you keep trying to hold on to, even though it makes your heart bleed. Matthew 11:28 still resounds like a gentle invitation. Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Resting in me is not abandoning your life. It is handing the control back to the one who has never made a mistake. You do not need to see the door already open in order to believe that I am preparing the way. You do not need to hear the answer immediately in order to believe that your prayer has touched my heart. Before you even call, I already know what you need. Before you see the way out, I already know the path. Then one day, when you look back with eyes that have been healed, you will recognize that what seems scattered today is actually being woven by me into a tapestry of grace. Where you thought there was only loss, I was sowing maturity. Where you thought there were only tears, I was digging a deep stream. Where you thought you had been forgotten, I was quietly covering you with unchanging love. Romans 8:28 reminds you that all things work together for good for those who love me. And you will see that this is not merely a familiar saying, but a truth engraved upon your very life. Trust my hand, because that hand does not tremble before the future. Trust my heart, because that heart does not grow weary in love. Remain in me, beloved child, so that every sorrow may be turned into depth, every wound into light, and your whole life may become a gentle song of grace that found you, lifted you up, and made you new again in my eternal love. Beloved child, before you look at the wind rising around you, look again at the one who is with you in the wind. Before you count the mountains, before you remember that my hand formed the heavens and the earth. There are times when you think you are only a small soul in a world too vast, a fragile sigh among so many noises. But I want you to know that you do not walk by your own strength, nor have you been sent out in emptiness. Before you even realized you would need strength, I had already planted within you the seeds of courage. Before the darkness fell, I had already placed in your hand the lamp of my word. Therefore, do not call yourself weak, according to the way the world defines weakness. You may tremble, but you are not abandoned. You may not yet see the distant road, but you are being led. You may feel small, but my Holy Spirit within you is not small. He is the breath of power, the holy fire, the gentle yet unconquerable presence in the deepest place of your heart. Let my word become the light that goes before you, and do not let fear become the shadow that pulls you backward. When my only begotten Son said, I am the light of the world, whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. As John 8:12 declares, that word was not only for the days when you are at peace, but also for the hours when you are most confused. That light is not the noisy brilliance of the world, but a holy brightness sufficient to distinguish what is true from what is false, what comes from me, from what is born of confusion. When you allow my word to shine into your mind, lies will lose their power. When you allow my word to touch your heart, old cold places will be warmed again. When you allow my word to guide each step, you will learn that true peace does not depend on every question already having an answer, but comes from knowing whose hand is holding yours. Do not forget that I never call you without preparing you. I do not bring you before the Red Sea, only to turn my back on you. I do not allow you to face the storm, only to leave you sinking in fear. What you need does not always appear before your eyes as a great miracle, but many times it has already been quietly placed within your heart, a promise you once read, a patience you once learned, a drop of grace you once received, an ability to rise again after many falls. As 2 Timothy 1:7 reminds you, I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and self-control. Understand that the strength I have placed within you is not meant to make you hard and unfeeling, but courageous and still tender, steady and still kind, watchful and still peaceful. Power is not separated from love. Love is not separated from wisdom, and self-control is not the act of straining yourself, but allowing the Holy Spirit to keep your heart from being swept away by chaos. There is a story I want you to remember when your eyes can see only the surrounding siege. Elisha and his servant were once in the city of Dothan. When the enemy surrounded them with horses and chariots of war, the servant looked out and was terrified, because what his natural eyes saw was only danger. But Elisha prayed, "O Lord, open his eyes, that he may see." And in 2 Kings 6, the servant's eyes were opened, and he saw the hills full of horses and chariots of fire surrounding Elisha. Do you see? The circumstance did not change immediately in that moment, but his vision was healed. The enemy was still there, but a greater truth was also revealed. The forces that belong to me are always greater than what is standing against you. Therefore, when you feel surrounded by pressure, lack, confusion, or accusation, ask me to open the eyes of your soul. What you see is not the whole reality. There is protection you have not yet recognized, an arrangement you do not yet understand, and heavenly armies of grace standing quietly around your life. So do not let the noise of the world give you your name. Do not let old failures call you defeated. Do not let the words of others dim the voice I have spoken over you. You were not formed by fear. You were created in love. You were not called to be a prisoner of circumstance. You were called to carry light into the very places where circumstances seem darkest. Isaiah 41:10 says, "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." And that word is not a decoration for courage, but the rock beneath your feet when the ground trembles. When the world says you are not enough, I say, my grace is sufficient. When your limits appear most clearly, my power has the deepest opportunity to shine. When you stop trying to prove that you are strong, you will begin to taste the strength that comes from heaven. The things you are facing are not the final wall, no matter how high and cold they may seem right now. Many times, what you call an ending is only the door I am opening into a deeper level of grace. You see brokenness, but I see material for rebuilding. You see tears, but I see seeds falling into the ground so that one day they may produce a harvest of joy. Psalm 126:5 reminds you that those who sow in tears will reap with songs of joy. That word does not deny the pain you have endured, but places that pain into the hands of the one who knows how to turn ashes into beauty. Do not rush to conclude your story while I am still writing. Do not call the valley a burial place when I can turn it into the place where the first song is lifted after a long season of silence. Every wound, when entrusted to me, will no longer be only a mark of pain, but can become a window through which my light shines. Every time you fall, if you allow me to lift you up, it will become a lesson in faithfulness, showing that grace does not only find you when you are standing strong, but also embraces you at the very moment you think you no longer have enough strength. Beloved child, you do not need a different life in order to begin living. You need new eyes. Eyes of peace. Eyes that know how to see small things through my light. When you walk in that light, every moment can become an altar. Every ordinary task can carry a holy breath, and your very life can become a gentle prayer. I am in every breath you take. I am renewing you not through haste, but through steadfast love. Keep living. Keep breathing. Keep smiling at the small things. For in each of those small things, I am still speaking to you. You are loved. You are kept. And you are returning to true life in me.